After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 545. Today is Tuesday, March 14th, as we are recording. We were going to record yesterday, but things got away from us, so we didn't.
And things almost got away from us again today.
Because
we be organized.
I am Marlisha, also known as Lady Furnico.
I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
Want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you're new, we're glad you found us. We hope you find something that you enjoy so you'll stay with us. And if you are returning, we're always glad to have you back. If you are in the shadows, either new or returning, please feel free to hit the little subscribe button very gently on your right. It's a little red button, and tap the little bell, and that way you'll get notifications. You can adjust your notifications frequency with that little bell, so just can do that. Doing those things will bring us up in the searches, and it will also make sure that you don't miss anything. If you want to take part in the alongs and the camaraderie and all that kind of stuff, then you need to be part of our PHN home group, which is at phnpodcast.freeforums.net, and that is in the little description box below the video. Okay, how many did you say you had?
I have 3. I remember to bring my spoon with me. I have to think about something because people keep getting confused with the way things are on the PHN Patreon. There are ways to set up on YouTube where you have a membership area, and if I can maybe put just that section.
I was going to ask about that.
And just set it for the price that the baseline is, and then make the normal Patreon that amount less. Like if the $5 members will go.
That might be too much of a hassle. That might be too much of a hassle. I don't want to make if they get to the point where it's too much of a hassle, they might just decide it's not worth it.
Yeah. Because I know people are getting confused about the way I have it set up on YouTube. Because I saw Lady Colin Campbell having set up that way where you could see this is member only. You have to join in order to have access to these. And it's like, wow, that's actually a really good idea.
It is, but I don't want to make our people have to purchase 2 different areas. It just kind of rankles me to do that.
Yeah. Well, up to you patrons. Just sound in what you think.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be a way of doing it. Otherwise, like privatizing and just give it. Can we just?
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. But it's unless I am like on top of things, like I can't make any mistakes.
Right.
And that's what happened last time. Is I fixed the link, but it didn't stay fixed. I've had a couple times where it wouldn't post because of the link. I've had issues sometimes with Patreon.
All right, well, we can talk about more about that later.
Yeah, but mostly bringing that up for our patrons to think of what is easier for them. Have that in the back of your head.
Okay, in my, this is what my daughter's head looks like, and yes, folks, that's an oboe, okay? And this is my chocolate mocha tea for these little gray cells. I wasn't feeling quite up to par today. This is what I wanted. I'm fine. I'm not sick. Just so I wanted this because Poirot makes everything better because he's got chocolate in here.
And I have the same tea here. I had Sleeping Dragon this morning, and I just wasn't feeling the green tea right now. It improved as it cooled. I've been more in a black tea mood and a mott mood, mostly because I've been having tea for breakfast in the morning.
Yeah, this is a really good breakfast tea.
It is.
If I ever decide to go completely off of the lattes, which I probably never will completely, but if I do, this will probably be one of the ones I have for breakfast. This one and Berserker. But okay, so that takes care of the tea. You have the same one. I need tissue.
I don't have anything here, Mom. Sorry.
All right. Excuse me. I'll be right back.
Grab something from the living room.
Yep. There's some over there too, but I'm not going to go over there.
Well, yeah, because then you'll risk knocking over all the equipment.
For planning.
We don't. This has not been a good day for although we never plan for the tissues very well. Because ever since we had to move things around so your soldier was there,
Yeah.
there hasn't been a spot for the tissues.
Well, I didn't like it there anyway because
of
of the light. Okay, now for our alongs, we've got 3 alongs going. Yes, 3, not 2.
A little bit closer. I moved myself over so that way there was still space for you.
The let's see if I can do this because my eyes sometimes bother me. The first one we have is the Movie Night Make A Long 2023, and this is a year-long along. And the gist of it is that it runs from January through December. So once we hit January 1st of 2024, it's finished. That's Eastern Standard Time. And the projects must be knit, loom knit, crocheted, woven, or paper crafts such as journaling, origami, card making, etc. Drawing is acceptable. So just, that kind of thing. And the featured things are, as always, anything that's Lady Fern Curl Creations, anything that's Franciscan Gypsy Designs, and anything that's Lollipop Girl Creations, which is Laura Concert, is eligible for 2 chances at a prize for the finished object only. And if they are married together, like one of my yarns and one of Ty's patterns, or Laura's yarns and Ty's patterns, or whatever, and you have a finished object with that, that's 3 chances at a prize. You are responsible for your multiple postings. The hashtag is PHN Movie Night 2023 on Instagram.
You buzzed.
Yes. There will be prizes. I just haven't decided or pulled them out yet. So they're sitting there. Courtesy, a lot of them, courtesy of Christina. Thank you, Mama C. Christina, I do have your email where you asked me the questions. I just have not been able to sit down for any length of time to answer it.
Do I owe Christina anything? I think I responded to everything.
No, this is that thing I was talking about. I have to figure out what she's talking about. Because she said it was a long time ago, and I can't quite wrap my head around what she asked.
Oh, okay. Must not have been something I'm privy to.
So, yeah, I told you about it, but it's good.
I don't remember.
The Ready, Set, Go, I just don't want her to think I'm ignoring her.
Right. Oops.
The PHN Ready, Set, Go Make Along, this one goes to the end of March. So you have about, today's the 14th, about 2 weeks, give or take, to finish this along. And this is where you start all the things, all right? And no whips that were started before January 1st are allowed. They have to be started January 1st or later. And let's see.
Yeah, because we're still doing the shortened stuff.
The featured yarns and featured patterns are the same as the other long, and it's hashtag PHN Ready Set Go 2023 on Instagram. These, and I didn't say it for the last one, but I'm saying it now. For whatever along you're doing it, it has to reflect the theme. Okay.
And also any rules, because you can't be a part of the longs anyway unless you're part of PHN forums at .freeforums.net.
PHN podcast.
You have to you have to have joined phmpodcast.freeforums.net in order to take part on any of these alongs. So all the pertinent rules are in those alongs, because I mean, if you're not a part of that forum, you hearing the rules ad nauseum is just going to be completely boring to you.
I do it once a month, and I may cut back to once every 6 weeks, seeing how that works. And that's, and you always get the bare basics. The new one that I finally got set up is the PHN Celebrating Spring, Passover, and Easter Make Along. And this one, it started March 1st, and it goes through May 14th, which is Mother's Day, at the end of Mother's Day. And the theme is anything that has to do with the holidays during this time. So you've got Mother's Day, you've got spring, you've got Easter, you've got Passover.
I accidentally deleted the winter holidays thread.
This is Passover is the other one, and if whatever falls in that holiday. And somebody asked the question, I think it was Jody, who asked the question: are pastel colors considered Easter? Yes. If you would make a reference as to why you're using that, this pastel reminds me of Easter eggs, or it reminds me of daffodils.
I mean, I just think of most Easter dresses have some sort of pastel feel to them.
But my point is, they can just put a little note in. Saying,
yes, for sure.
In that way, even putting a very soft gray for spring showers would be acceptable.
You just have to make sure you
have to, or baby bunny. So just just say, okay, for the colors, these colors are because.
Hey, peeps.
Peeps, yes, I love peeps. They're so cute.
Peeps. I can have peeps because they're just marshmallows and sugar.
well, sugar. No, not marshmallows. Well,
They are marshmallows and sugar.
yeah, but what I'm saying is sugar. Marshmallows are made out of sugar too.
But I mean, like, they
I know what you're saying.
sugar, powdered sugar, no powder.
Granulated
Sugar on top of marshmallows.
which is sugar.
Which is sugar.
Yes.
But
Okay.
it's
Anyway,
chewy sugar.
it's yummy sugar.
Mm-hmm.
The same, parameters apply. It has to reflect the theme. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you, Rena, for the tag.
Mm-hmm.
Then the same types of projects. We have moved from just knitting, crocheting, loom knitting into also paper crafts. The hashtag is CSPE, okay? That's C as in cat, SPE 2023 on Instagram. And this is in the description box. No, it's not. It's in the
Yeah, I don't keep it in the description box. It's too hard for me to keep up.
It's in the PHN
It's in the thread.
It's in the thread. Okay.
Just like all the other important
Yeah,
information.
and so you guys are are responsible for your own multiple postings when you have them, okay? Because it's like I said, anything Franciscan Gypsy, anything Lady Furnicle Creations, and anything Lollipop Girl Yarns, okay? All right, so that leads on to projects.
And you have 4 to my 3.
I need a drink.
And I don't think I showed my mug. I'd rather be knitting mug. I got this a very long time ago from Amazon. Orange kitty knitting some sort of yellowy green.
Chartreuse.
Is that what that color is?
Mm-hmm.
Thing.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to show you is in my Angel News by Bag, large Angels bag. And this is my Film Noir shawl. And I did some work on this, and then I got sidetracked with something else. And I'll show that to you later. But I'm really close to finishing this. I really had hoped to finish this. But I have a project that's going to need to take my attention, which you will learn about later. So you can see it's grown about a few rows. It is quite large here, and I think it's really pretty. It's various yarns.
You'll be so excited when you finally have that.
Yeah. I wear these shawls all the time. They're just...
I have one of them next to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't put it on yet.
Yeah. I may steal it from her if she doesn't wear it because I'm cold.
I think you should. Here.
Well,
I have a really warm sweater on.
I have a sweater on too.
Yeah, but mine's hand knit. And
So this is crocheted.
Okay, well this is bulky yarn.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
And it has cables. And somehow this must be damp from when I washed my
the dishes,
spoon.
Yeah. So this is moving along. It's just that I had to put it aside when I started, a different project. And this is various yarns, Miss Babs and Dragonfly fibers, and I think that's pretty much what I have in here. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, well, I am going to show the one on my lap first. So this is Thorn's Hooded Cow pattern, and the yarn is Miss Babs Yowza in the Squash Blossom colorway. And my project name is Bomber's Hooded Cow because Bomber is the one who had yellow. Not my favorite of the dwarves, but he had a cool hood color. And I already have Balin who had the red one.
I love Balin.
So not terribly far along. I am doing the same one I did for Balin. This is number 3. So
The accordion.
The accordion, yeah.
All right. I've got enough done here that I can say I worked it for 4 whole stitches.
But yeah, that's really all I have to show with this because there's not a whole lot to show, especially at this stage where it's just like
round and round and round and round.
And it's not very big.
Mm-hmm.
All it can basically be like is see pretty color.
Yeah. All right, let me just cap this.
I'm gonna be really excited when I have this though, because there's just simply sometimes that my bluish green one, my blue and green one, and my red don't go with everything.
Right.
Eventually, I don't have enough yarn for it, but eventually I want to get orange and knit one of those. But the amount of orange I have is not enough to make up. I don't have any yarn that makes up the
What kind
amount.
of orange?
Probably a burnt orange because that's what I wear the most of. I mean, a brown would work too, but I kind of like the idea of a burnt orange. I like burnt orange. And I think burnt orange works with brown too.
Oh, yeah. It's an autumn color.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I know I'm knitting. I have the brown, I have the copper, the because we ended up doing it in sport, I had to go to a different pattern. So I need to maybe choose a different pattern because it's too lacy.
You're talking about Pennies in Heaven?
Yeah, pennies. Or I'm going to use it for a different project altogether because Pennies in Heaven, it's too lightweight for the pattern we hoped I would use it for. Because we were talking about, maybe a lighter weight one would be better for the retreat, and it turned out to be too thin.
Yeah, Pennies from Heaven.
So.
Okay.
Yeah,
eventually
I want to make an orange.
Yeah, the next one I'm doing is in my Silver Shed USA 10 years Podiversary, which I think is my extra large bag. And this is my Strawberry Shortcake baby blanket pattern. And I'm almost done with this ball. You can see I have this much left. So I've done a fair amount of work on this one. Let's see, am I going the wrong way here so I can show you? So you can see it is growing. I like the way it's kind of, it's kind of painterly.
It is.
And this is James C. Brett. No, not James C. Brett. This is ice yarn, and it's kind of a fuzzy ice yarn. It's a
fuzzy wussy.
Yeah, it's fine as long as I don't have to pull back. And I think it'll make a very nice baby blanket, which is what this is supposed to be.
Right.
So it'll go to the pregnancy center when.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
finished.
it'll be one of those things that's just going to feel so nice against baby skin.
Mm-hmm. And it's acrylic, so I think more people are allergic to wool than acrylic. Although I know
there are people who are.
Yeah,
allergic.
we do have a person, or we did have a person in our group who was allergic to acrylic. I forget who it was.
Well, all I can think of is the couple who they both worked in healthcare. One was in the nursing program. I forget what he worked in, but either the husband or the wife was allergic to latex gloves, and the other spouse was allergic to non-latex gloves. So
it's been interesting in that house.
I mean, I guess if they just didn't keep gloves,
well, they probably has to just keep them in different areas of the house.
Yeah, and I think you can get the non-latex gloves. You can get them in a different color, like blue, which is what we had at the hospital. Why am I not shocked, MPKC? Why?
So if you call me what my name is instead of by some stupid initials.
Oh, you deserve it.
She deserves everything but your disrespect.
She earned it with her bad attitude.
She doesn't have a bad attitude, she's a cat.
Exactly.
So it's not a bad attitude, it's a cat thing. It's your turn.
Okay, so she's catty. In my
Miss Peppermint Kitty Cat, if you please.
MPKC.
Even if you don't.
MPKC. In my Silver Shed USA PHN Sayings bag. Yeah, this is PHN Sayings.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
You can see that even though it's the same color as this one.
Oh, never mind.
No,
it's 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, 10 year, yeah.
I forgot that he had and that's a wrap on there. So it is a 10-year anniversary medium? Is this your medium size?
That's the large. That's the large.
I have a size up after that.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Then it must be the medium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the large.
I think that's the extra. Maybe it is, but I've got another one in there.
Because this is not the large. Because I don't have a size smaller than this.
Right.
Because that would be the small, and I know you didn't get me small.
No.
So, this is the not just born boot socks pattern, of course, and I am using Snap Crackle Oh Crap Pop, which is an undead yarn colorway.
Of course it is. I love Heidi's humor.
I need to, there we go, weave in these ends. But first sock is done. One day I just felt like finishing one of the socks.
That looks nice.
So, and then I started the second sock. This works up really quickly. It'll be nice to get a pair of socks off the needles. I won't start another larger weight one after this. I know I have another one on the needles already. And I'm going to try not to immediately replace socks. I'd like to finish some of them because I have a lot of them. I mean, I ripped out quite a few of them from that I started with surgery. I didn't think I would really want to be working right now, but I still have quite a few on the needles that I just need to finish. But yeah, I won't be replacing this one after I finish it.
Let me just finish a stitch here. I'll add the other ball later. Let me just get to where I can stop. Because, you know, if I don't stop where I know where I'm doing, I get into trouble. I just do one stitch instead of the 3.
This is such a good tea.
I love it. I know I have one slated for this afternoon, but I'll see how I feel. Okay, let me just put this aside.
Sounds like it's windy out there.
It is windy out there, and it's cold.
I'm sure. I felt that when I went out to get something.
We went out to get the mail.
Mail arrived early.
Yeah, it did. Okay, let me put this back in here, and I'll get my next one out. A drink. Let's see. This one got worked on yesterday in my Kiki Boo Christmas Owls bag that Talia got me a few years back, several years back.
It's been a while.
Is my preemie baby hat. No particular name, no particular pattern, just kind of round and round and round because I didn't want to focus on anything else. I got the urge to look at my books though. I want to see if I can maybe do something a little more adventurous.
Good.
But this is, I might not want to do it while I have so many things I have to get started though.
Right.
So this is, you can see it's got a little bit of a growth here. You can see it underneath the base here. And this loom was given to me by the lovely Laura Concert. All my wooden looms were given to me by Laura Concert, and I love them. So thank you, Laura. And this is, yeah, moving along. The yarn is that Lion brand Heather, I think, or whatever it's called, Heritage or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Heritage, I think.
So yeah, that's that.
I mean, all the colorways are called something Heather, I believe, but it's Heritage. Okay, so my final project that I worked on is in my, I forgot to say that my other one was in my Knit for Brains teapots bag. The Thorns Hooded Cow. But my final project is in my soft brown bag that we got from Knitter's Magic.
Which is our local yarn store. If you are in the Winchester area, you can stop by and see her.
And the interior fabric has kitties playing with yarn. In here is, herself is upstairs, so I can say this, is Davina's Quicksilver sweater. If I focus, I maybe can finish it by her birthday.
Which is in May.
Because, I mean, it's a bulky weight sweater, and she's small. So I am upside down. I think this is called a herringbone cable. The one that's like this.
Oh, really?
I think that's what that's called. The center one. So that's the back. It doesn't have cables all over it like she likes, but
It'll be close enough.
she's not getting one with cables all over it.
She'll be happy with that.
Yes, she does have some nice pockets in this one. I do have this pattern. Okay, I guess I should say the name of the pattern first. The pattern name is the pattern is by Amy Miller, and I need to go to the front of the pattern to get the name. This is the Hillcrest Coat. Now, it's a good pattern. I really enjoy it. Unfortunately, the instructions are all smushed together. There's no paragraph breaks, nothing like that. So it can be very confusing to find where you're at in the pattern. I think that after I finish this section with this pocket, I'm going to type up the rest of the instructions and separate things a bit, even though, I mean, I'm basically done with anything that's new and exciting. Because after where I'm at now, I just have to finish the body and start the sleeves.
Right.
And sleeves are usually, pretty. Oh, I guess I had to do the cowl.
Isn't it a shawl collar?
Yeah. Kind of like, shawl, kind of like this one.
Yeah. I like shawl collars.
And she, trying to think what else. Well, I already know how to add a zipper. They don't have that instructions. This does have a zipper. Pretty sure this has a zipper. Yeah, it does. So, in some ways, some of the aspects of this sweater are similar to this one. It just has fewer cables.
Which one?
This to this one.
that one, yeah.
This one has more cables to it, but it has a lot of similar elements. They're both bulky yarns.
I always like this sweater, and I like this yarn, even though it's an acrylic blend.
Yeah, it's Barocco. I feel like it was like Eco something or other. I picked it up because of the color, because I wanted a traditional looking Aran sweater. But yeah, so I am at the pockets. You can kind of see on this side. I haven't seamed this yet because I don't think I've reached to the point where they tell me to. You can kind of get an idea right there. There's
Got the pocket?
That's the pocket. You can just stick your hand in there. I think it's a little bigger than other pockets that I've had in knit sweaters.
Happier she could put something in it.
Exactly. She can maybe put a rosary in there.
Tissue.
Definitely tissues. So, yeah, I think that's really cool. I think that will be really nice for her because it is heavier duty because it's a bulky weight. And
we get her to wear a sweater.
Yes, that is my biggest hope.
It's fashionable.
And it has cables on it. It was knit just for her because she is starting to wear the crochet one I made her a little more often. For a long time she wasn't wearing it.
Yesterday she wore the hat that I dyed the yarn for that you made for her.
Oh, nice.
I think it was the Venus hat. Is that the one you did with Drama Queen 7?
Yes, I designed it for her out of that.
Yeah.
I'm using, this is so soft, Swish Bulky Weight in the colorway Cobblestone Heather.
Soft.
So I see where I could have gotten some other grays because they do have other grays. I can't remember why I went with this one.
I thought that maybe they didn't have enough of the other
I
ones.
wonder if they didn't have enough of the other ones, or when I was reading about it, if I thought there was too much brown in some of them.
Right.
I wanted to make sure she had a pure gray. Even though this is a bit darker than me, she would still call this gray.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, she call it gray.
Especially if she knows that Quicksilver was the intended thought process.
Right. She's pretty good about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Heck, it can be a blue-gray and she accepts it.
Yeah.
Okay, my last one is a new project. This is my To Have and to Hold Afghan. My brother is getting married.
And it's brother.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Brother, in quote. My older brother is getting married. He lost his wife 4 years ago, and
Has it been that long?
and the lovely lady that he's getting married to has been a widow for 5 years. So they are getting married in September. So needless to say, I have to make him something. So I started an Afghan. It's called To Have and to Hold. And 3 guesses what the pattern is. I tried to do something else. I didn't like it. So and I need something that can just, ooh, that looks pretty, Ty. Look.
Yes, it does. So, shocker, guys.
You can say it in unison. I know you know what this is.
The Sarah
Hey,
Bell.
by who?
Sarah Sweetheart.
Very good. So yeah, I did all this in one day. Okay? And this is in my Lady Furnico Creations Bare Necessities colorway, and this is the first ball of yarn I'm using.
And it's the same base that it's a
It's a similar base.
similar base.
So this is working up very, very quickly. I started this yesterday. Yeah, because I had started something else on Sunday and I restarted it on Monday. So
Right, because you didn't like how it was working up.
yeah, I actually had the other pattern started and then half of the pattern with the Cerebel, and I decided that I'm going to drop down a hook size and I'm going to do the
Yeah, because you
Cerebel.
didn't like the Cerebel in the larger hook size, so you just thought wouldn't work all together. And I suggested doing the smaller hook and see if you liked it better, and you did.
When we have a bulky yarn, Ty and I were discussing this. When you have a bulky yarn, it's really hard to do a lace pattern because it doesn't look quite right.
If it's too
If it's too
airy.
lacy.
Yeah.
Now, the pattern I was doing originally held 2 worsted together, which is heavier than what I have here, but I still didn't like the way it was showing. It was just too...
Well, of course, because it'd be more open with the fact that you were using a smaller yarn.
Yeah. So it was just a little bit smaller.
But enough that it would have made it more open. But still looked odd because it was a bulky yarn.
Yeah. And I did drop... Did I drop down a hook?
You went up a hook.
Yeah.
You went up to his hook size. Because you initially...
Because it's one stitch off.
Yeah, you initially were going to go down a hook. And then you ended up going, I'll just go... You had too many stitches. So you went up to his hook size. But didn't like how it looked.
Yeah, I mean, I think I probably got his gauge if I had been using the same yarn. But I wasn't. I was using a single strand, bulky, to his double worsted. And in case you're wondering, is George. And let me let you know, 10 hours or less is not his pattern that was the problem.
No.
It was me not having the right materials. And also...
Because she didn't want to do the two together thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I can do that when I crochet. But she didn't want to. But I didn't want to. And also, because it was a new pattern, beautiful pattern, new pattern to me, I would have to focus, which means that every time I'm trying to crochet when I'm with my husband and stuff like that, and I need to be able to divide my attention when I'm doing that, and I can't do it when I'm doing a new pattern.
And the wedding's in September,
it's in
so
September.
she does have a bit of a crunch for it.
So, and this is turning out really pretty. If I can do, 7 rows a week minimum, that's 1 row a day, then I should be able to get done within 3 months. And so, or thereabout. And that's plenty of time because September is another, 6 months? Yeah, I think it's 6 months.
Is that far away?
March, April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months.
Okay.
I mean, 6 months and a little bit since we're not quite... April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months. Plus, the half a month. So 6.5 months.
Yeah, I need to make sure because I got another slew of orders. But after those are done, I have to start the wedding rosaries for him and his wife.
Yeah, because I was going to do that and this, and then I realized that even when I'm getting bare yarn, it's still, when you're making a wedding gift, it's a lot of yarn, and so I just couldn't quite swing that. But if I have leftover yarn, I might make a pillow to go with it.
That would be cute.
Yeah.
Especially if you match the pattern.
I don't think I can match the pattern for the pillow.
Oh, that makes sense.
But I have because otherwise the stuffing will fall out.
That's true. Unless you had a
pillow form, and I don't like working with pillow forms like that. It's just, my gauge never does quite what I want it to with that. But I saw a really pretty pillow pattern in one of my books where I was looking for another pattern. It had the same issue where it was a new pattern to me, and I'd have to really focus. But it has a really nice pillow, and the pillow's in multiple colors, but because it has raised stitches and lowered stitches, I think I can do it in this white and it'll still be nice.
Now, it does not have a pillow form?
I don't know. I don't think so. I have to take a look.
Because that would be something you need to look into.
Yeah. And I'll look at that later. I don't want to knit it. I think I'll...
No, I understand that.
I think I will just poke my eyes out if I do.
No, I understand that. That's not your preference.
I mean, I suppose I could...
Well,
with a little help from you, I could potentially do like a start of a toy and go around and around and around and then just build it up. It'd still be that kind of a Tootsie Roll kind of shape.
Oh, you want a different shape. Okay, so not a normal.
No. In fact, the one I'm looking at is not normal like that.
Okay.
And so, there's that. I could potentially do something like that and just stuff it.
Yeah.
Really stuff it so it doesn't get too bent out of shape too quickly. But it has to be special because, he's special. He's my older brother, in quotes. So, and I'm really happy for them. And, yeah. That's enough said about that.
Okay, so, I've shown all my projects.
Me too.
I have no FOs. Do you have any FOs? I have a design. We'll pretend I wove it. I waved it in front of you because I don't feel like getting up and doing that. Then shop news. Well, I still have to put up the ladies' favor on the Etsy shop. I need to look through and just double check because I caught something where it didn't make sense and I just need to edit it. I'll update that change on Patreon as well.
Ladies' favor?
Not ladies' favor. I'm.
You mean the sock?
The sock.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why I said ladies' favor. Probably because it's Eleanor Cross's and she's a lady.
Yeah, a savvy lady. Savvy woman.
Actually, she was. She was quite the businesswoman.
Yes, I know, but I was making a reference.
Oh, okay. Well, it's true also.
The reference was not a movie. It was a tea that they're having at Adagio.
But yeah, so that's probably part why I said the wrong pattern. But Eleanor Crosses will eventually go up. I've been having a lot of energy issues, so it's like I had to choose one thing a day that I need to do, while still allowing myself a little bit of, if I go right to only things I need to do, it's not going to help me. I'm going to go right back to sleep. So I have to measure out in the bit of time that I have. So
my shop news, I did get a request that we're working out together, and I've talked to her. She knows that I'm in the middle of sorting out the tax stuff for my shop and for the family, and we're also trying to clarify exactly what she wants and whether or not I have to order yarn. And I hope to also, I found my recipe book hidden, so I can go and look for the colors that I think I might have lost, and that kind of thing. So I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that I can get a lot done this week. My husband has to go visit his mother in hospice, and so I might have some time freed up to do some of that because he won't be here, and I won't have to then, it sounds horrible.
It would have been too much to have all of us go. It would have been very stressful for him, most likely.
Yeah. And so I will try to get all my paperwork and stuff done while he is doing what he has to do, and then maybe I can start into the, finding my die stock, typing it up, doing, start putting things in.
You really need to keep that notebook in a designated apron that's just for your dyeing.
Well, this is a big notebook. I have to transfer.
Okay, you need then a smaller one that's for your notes that you can keep in that apron.
I also have to get. I talked to Daddy about this. I want to get a couple of aprons, and then I'm going to dedicate the one you gave me with the M&Ms on it. I'm going to fix that because it needs to be sewn, and that's going to be my dedicated apron for the dyeing, because it doesn't matter if I get color on that.
Right.
So, and then I can just stick a notebook in there with a pen, and then I'll be okay for, because I do jot things down. A lot of times Davina jots it down for me, so I can actually read it.
But yeah, I think that it would be very good, because if it's in your apron pocket all the time, you always know where it's at.
Well, that's just till I transfer it.
Right. But I mean, like, even then, like, if you can't, if you're not sure where it's always there.
It's true. But that's all I have to really say about the shop, because the shop is kind of in flux right now in terms of me getting things updated.
Right.
But it is, hopefully soon. I know I keep saying that, and it just seems like life keeps saying, not today.
Right.
So I haven't even written much. Just everything. I'm finally starting to craft a little more. But
so then stash enhancement, you showed some of yours.
Now this yarn is not, this one I pulled from another project, but it's the same yarn. It's a bulky yarn. It's my bare necessities.
And for me, this arrived right before the podcast, which is fortuitous. I am going to be doing, actually, since I'm pulled forward, I am going to grab it. Thankfully, our new printer, because we did have to get a replacement printer.
Stash enhancement. Yes. You can't see it. My printer over there.
I wanted to do a large throw for my bed, 'cause I actually sleep on top of my bed a lot of times, unless I'm really cold. Just because, even though I don't do the comforters because those are way too heavy for me, I feel trapped. I am sleeping, if I'm under all my covers, I'm under multiple levels of crochet blankets. And one of them is one of Davina's bulletproof blankets, which there's no airflow once you're underneath that. So usually, if I'm down all the way underneath that layer, I know I'm cold. The next highest the layer that's at the very top is the one that I had at school that was all like super long and...
That one is unique because for some reason...
You had a period of time where you're having trouble with...
The ends. The edges.
It was like you're having trouble figuring out size. Because that one ended up a lot longer or something than you wanted it to be. And it didn't help that my bed at school was a really weird shape.
Yeah, your bed at school is strange.
But, I mean, the fact that you made it for my bed at school and it fits my queen size bed and is still much larger than my queen size bed, that says something. I mean, I used to take that outside and like we'd sit on it for like whatever.
She almost burned the dormitory down with it.
That's right, because it was such a big blanket, and where I had my bed up against. Mel and I would try to arrange our rooms. We had as much possible space as we could. We were very creative with it because we didn't want to do just the typical one bed here, one bed there, because there was no space then. So we ended up doing like one bed over here and one bed over there, and there's a whole big space here. And her desk was there, and my desk. So it was like it was really nice. We spaced it well. But my bed was against the heater, and the super duper big blanket got against the heater, and it has a burn mark on it. But regardless, I want to make a large throw to accompany my mitered square afghan.
Oh, Ty, I forgot to do in the stash enhancements.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Oh,
hooks.
yes, turn around.
Hooks. This is one of them. It's a set of larger hooks.
Yeah, you gotta show the packet. The little container.
It surprised us in the way it
Why are
came
you
out.
keeping it in the plastic bin?
I don't know.
There's no point. Why would you do
In
that?
case I don't want to pull this out, and I can just stick the see, here's all the. They came with stitch markers too.
So it's really cool. But I already had this pattern. I want to make this in the throw size. I made this in a baby blanket size before, but I want to make this in a throw size for myself.
Because see, George, as we wanted to say, despite my not doing this particular pattern I was doing, George is fabulous. He does multiple sizes, multiple weights of yarn, and he tells you exactly how to do it.
Yes, so I want mine to be, and this is considered large throw size from one of the things I was looking at. I want 60-inch wide and 73 long, approximately.
So about as big as this.
Yeah, and I mean that's a throw. It fits the if I was to just measure the top of my bed and not have really much hangover, that's what it is, which is what I want. I want enough that it covers, because sometimes with the mitered square blanket, when I roll in my sleep, a part of me gets uncovered. So I wanted just another layer. Plus sometimes I just need one more layer.
One more row.
And something that's not quite as open as the blue and red monstrosity. But
It's not a monstrosity.
But not as heavy as Davina's bulletproof.
It's not a monstrosity.
But I also have got needles to go with it because I needed a 60-inch cable. And I didn't want to do, for one thing, my interchangeables that I had at that point I wanted a 17, but I decided to change my mind. But I didn't want to have to keep twisting the interchangeable back on. It was going to drive me insane for something as large as a blanket, because I have that for a sweater and it drives me insane.
Yep, that's why I don't do interchangeables. I just don't like it.
Thankfully it's a sweater that's in pieces, otherwise I might go boom. But yes, so I ended up going with US 15s. It calls for 17, but he calls for this pattern 3 worsted held together. I think it's worsted. Let's see. Yeah, 3 worsted held together. And the yarn that I got was a bulky, so I went down to 15. And I'll have to do a gauge swatch and everything. I've been wanting to get for myself.
I like that color.
So this is Swish bulky, like Davina's sweater, and I love this color. It is called, I think it's Garnet. Hold on.
Probably.
Garnet Heather.
It's so pretty.
So,
it's not brown, it's red.
no, it's red, and that's her birthstone.
Mine too.
As it are. So that works out, and it'll tie in my room a bit because I've got the lavender, but because of how deep this is, it works for my curtains are about this color. And I feel like it'll tie in the room a little bit more, whereas the blue and bright red doesn't quite go with the feel. But if this covers most of that, it'll work. So this will also look really nice with the hearts on top, and I'll try to keep the toys out of the way.
Ha.
Well, I've done better. It's only when the only thing that ends up sometimes messy is the mitered square. And I also had to convince the turtle to stay on my pillow and let Elvis sit on his head. Or not his head, on his shell. So yeah, that's all.
I'm
That's
going
all.
to change my bag pretty soon. This gets bigger. Okay. All right, let's see what's done here. I think that's basically all we have to say.
Good, because I'm starting to feel tired.
And I'm hungry. So we're not going to do any live things today. We're just going, because we started
we already told part of it anyway.
We started really late today. I mean, it was noon when we started, and we're hungry. So we want to thank everybody who commented on YouTube, or if somebody commented over at PHN and I didn't see it, I apologize, I didn't see it. But we want to thank Looney Hiker, Paula, Wendy, who is MacGyver, Christina, Rena, and Meditative Crafter for your comments, and anyone else who might have commented. I am not ignoring you, I just didn't see you.
Right.
So we want to thank you for your comments. Please do keep commenting. We'd like to hear from you. And we want to wish you all a very wonderful, blessed week full of knitting and crocheting and whatever it is that makes your heart happy. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast. I think it was 5:44. Let me see. I'll tell you in just a second.
You passed. Oh, no, you didn't.
5:45. And that's a wrap.
Bye.
God bless.